All right, Brian, well, I appreciate all of that. So we've talked about the product, we've talked about the technology, we've talked about the people. We're using this word continuous a lot. So if I'm a company, right, and I need to do penetration testing, why should I buy continuous penetration testing from SynerComm, or just buy 4, point in time pen tests from SynerComm?
Or other people,
Great.
even. Yeah.
Or I guess, or some of your competitors, but
Yeah. Yep. And to that point, part of the reason that continuous penetration testing even came to be was that companies were starting to do pen tests more than just maybe every 2 years. Then it became annually, then it became semi-annually, and even quarterly in some scenarios. So there are clients that we're doing all 4 quarters, and there are clients certainly that might be using multiple different pen testing firms. I think that there's the obvious that anytime you're doing something 365 days a year versus just a few point in time, that there is continual coverage now where there would have been gaps otherwise. There's always going to be a time where the testing ended and a report was issued, and before the next test starts with any point in time solutions. There's always been great arguments for using multiple pen test firms, whether it's multiple times a year or just on an annual basis. The obvious is always that that new set of eyes, as everybody likes to say, that anytime a new pen tester might look at something, they might have some additional skills, capabilities, insights, so they can bring that to the table. But we also have a large team here, so we can bring additional resources and insight, just like any other firm could, by rotating resources. But in the continuous world, now you have all of those resources. I don't want to say necessarily at your disposal, but internally and behind the scenes, they are at your disposal. And you're taking advantage now of a team of pen testers working with your company versus an individual. So I know I gave a few answers there, but I think there's a lot to be said, even when you might have a policy that said you should use multiple firms, to at least look at the continuous option. And maybe instead of doing quarterly, you're doing a continuous plus maybe one extra set of eyes at some other point during the year. Continuous is always better, right?
yeah.